Blessed day, Jillian. For our lesson 2 or set number 2 for our discussion is about the Earth subsystem. Okay po? So let's try to recap or review po kung ano-ano po yung mga napag-usapan po natin. So nung nakaraang lesson po. Na-identify po natin doon what is the origin or the background of Earth na mga different characteristic niya from the universe na captured ng Hubble Space Telescope, yung newborn star, and to identify what are necessary that star, kind of protostar. Nagkaroon na tayo ng birth of solar system, why we have the protostar, nagkaroon ng rotating disk, no? Nagkaroon na po ng parang debris, mga excess debris po around the protostar. And then doon sa middle po, no, nagkaroon tayo ng tinatawag po natin protosan. And then at the same time, napag-usapan din po natin what are those protoplanets, no, from the inner and then outer planets, what are those terrestrial and gas giant planet. And between dun sa dalawa na yon, no, inner and outer, the inner and outer planets, pag-usap, nalagay din natin yung key point na tinatawag po natin asteroid belts. No? So na-identify po natin po yun. Then sa latter part po ng discussion po natin last time, ay napag-usapan na po natin yung ocean sa po yung atmosphere. So think po the point of ocean and atmosphere po ay matatalakay po natin ngayon sa second discussion po natin about the Earth subsystem. So for today's plan, we have to define and identify the components of the spheres of Earth or the subsystem of the Earth. The atmosphere, the biosphere, hydrosphere, and geosphere. And then, today's dupo natin, so we are going to tackle the Save Our City homework, and then we have to discuss a different sphere nga po ng Earth, which is the subsystem of Earth po. So next slide po tayo. May question po ako na pwede po natin ma-explain sa ating pong di-discuss po ngayon. Why do we need to know about Earth sphere? May classification po ba tayo na pwedeng after creation of Earth ay isa lang yung maging sphere natin? Pwedeng ma-identify natin na ito by 100% water? Pwede ba natin ma-conclude yun? Pwede ba natin masabi na, the geosphere, it's knowing na ito lang si geosphere, no? Pwede ba si geosphere lang 100%? So we need to know more about the Earth sphere. Dito po mapapansin po natin to overview a little about Earth system. The Earth is a system consisting of four major interacting components. Ano-ano po yun? Nabanggit na po natin kanina sa ating pong objective. We have atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and geosphere. So ito pong apat na major sphere po natin, classification po nila na pwede sila magkaroon ng interaction din po at the same time. Po? So let's examine each of these four spheres in detail. Unahin po natin si atmosphere. Though si atmosphere po, layer siya, we have the atmosphere layer to identify the exact thin atmosphere, yung kapal niya, yung nipis niya, etc. etc. So meron tayong tinatukoy po na the Earth is surrounded by the blanket of air, which we'll call the atmosphere. The atmosphere consists of four unique layers. Ano po iyon? The troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, and thermosphere. Pero may mga naka-include pa rin po dyan, no? Dito po sa part na to, meron po tayong tinatawag pong, di ba po, yung troposphere, yung taas po ni troposphere, meron po tayong tropopause. Stratosphere, meron po tayong stratopause. The mesosphere, meron po tayong mesopause. And yung pinakahuli po, yung tinatawag na po natin thermosphere po. Okay? So, ma-identify po natin lahat iyon sa classification po ng tinatawag po natin atmosphere. The atmosphere reaches over 350 miles up from the surface of the Earth. And the atmosphere is primarily composed of nitrogen, about 78%, and oxygen about 21%. And the other components exist in small quantity. So doon po natin mapapansin lahat-lahat pagdating po kay atmosphere layer. Okay po? So doon sa thermosphere, possible na talaga pong makalipad po si airplane. No? Dahil nakita po natin sa illustration dito sa picture po natin. Okay po? So, di ba po doon sa unang lesson po natin, evolving atmosphere, nagkaroon po tayo ng gases po, which is the hydrogen and the helium. So, yun yung primary. No? Pero today, so very rare na siya. Very rare na yung mismo dalawang primary na gas po, no, during atmosphere, thin atmosphere during after creation po ng Earth, no. Then because of the human activity, nagkaroon na po ng different gases po na especially the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, the methane, the ammonia, etc., etc. na nakikita po natin because na-identify natin because of the human activity. Okay? Next slide po tayo, which is the biosphere. Into biosphere po, it's a kind of life zone. No? A life zone of the Earth and includes all living organisms, including humans. Tayo po dyan sa biosphere. Sabi nga po, including all living organisms and all organic matter that has not yet decomposed. Po. So, the biosphere is structured into a hierarchy known as the food chain. Mapapansin po natin na from the plant, from the animal, into human, very familiar po tayo in the food chain. No? So mapapansin po natin na connected pa rin po yung kahit doon pa lang sa biosphere. Magkaka-connect na po yung all living organisms po, no? Which is a sample niya po ay food chain. Ito tayo doon. Energy and nutrients like carbon are transferred from one level of the food chain to the next. So, iikot lang po tayo into biosphere, which is the life zone. Kung baga, yun yung pinaka-molding part niya. To know, to identify, or to connect each other, all living organisms. But proceed po tayo on the hydrosphere. When you hear a hydrosphere, it contains all type of water, all water found on the planet Earth. No? The surface water includes the ocean as well as the water from lakes, rivers, and creeks. Groundwater includes water trapped in the soil and groundwater. Atmosphere, water vapor. So dito pa lang po mapapansin na natin na mayroong interconnection or interaction po between other sphere po. No? Next po natin, frozen water includes ice caps and glacier, also called the cryosphere. No? So pwede po natin malagay sa minor sphere po yung nabanggit po natin. And only about 3%, hindi ka po, only about 3% of the water on Earth is fresh. Water and about 70% of the fresh water is frozen in the form of glacial ice, having 0.9% in liquid form. So dito po umiikot si hydrosphere. Water po tayo. On the term hydro, water po. So alam na ho natin that has kind of 70% of the planet Earth is water. So majority na lagay po sa part ni hydrosphere. Yung kind of, sabi nga dito, only about 3% lang po of the water on Earth is fresh. Yun yung mga tabang na tabang na tubig. So, yung iba yung natira po is salt water or talaga po nakita po natin from the frozen in the form of glacial ice. Next slide po tayo. Geosphere. Very familiar po tayo sa geosphere or geo from the term na alam po natin from the solid part of the earth. Ito yung pinaka lupa, no? From the core of the surface. So mapapansin po natin, includes po tayo dito, the volcanoes, the landmass, the rocks, minerals, etc. etc. And minerals resources are mined from the geosphere. So ano man, marami po tayong different types of minerals po, no? So ma-identify po natin yan sa mga susunod na lesson. Kasama po si minerals sa geosphere. So doon po natin mapapansin yung apat na major na spheres po natin from atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and geosphere. Okay, next slide po tayo. Earth System Science. Ito po yung pinaka-study how the four spheres of the Earth system interact continually, each affecting the others. So ito po yung batayan o basihan why we study about Earth subsystem, which is the four sphere, which is the geosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. Example, which is the scientists that study global warming in Earth system scientists. So, ito po yung bagay po na pwede po natin ilagay, which is the Earth science side, Earth system science po. Next slide po tayo. Now, let's try to interact or interconnected the sphere that we have. Alam natin yung geosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and atmosphere. For example of this one, pagkakonektahin po natin, no? Volcanoes erupt, sending ash and gases into the air and sending lava and ash down onto surrounding forests and human habitation. Ano po kaya yung unang process? Ano muna kaya pala yung unang pwedeng sphere na ilagay natin? What do you think? Okay? The sphere that we have first is the geosphere. Because of the geosphere, di ba po, volcano po siya. So, geosphere po siya. After po noon, nag-send siya ng mga ash, mga gases into the air, papasok si atmosphere. At bukod doon, papasok din si biosphere. Bakit po? Human habitation, no, forest, so mga halaman, etc. etc. So magkaka-connect, no, yung mga spheres po natin sa isang scenario pong nangyayari. System interaction, another sample. Hurricanes, alam natin that the hurricanes is given to idea na pwedeng papasok si atmosphere. Tama po? Pwedeng lumabas na dyan si hydrosphere, geosphere, and biosphere. Alam natin na yung tubig, pwedeng si atmosphere, no? Pwede siyang magkaroon ng tinatawag nating storm surge, no? Yung tubig, tumaas yung tubig, tsunami, pwede po iyon. Geosphere, magkaroon ng tinatawag nating mga baha, no? Magkaroon ng mga yung mga areas natin, magkaroon ng mga damage po. And then yung biosphere, yung kabuhayan o yung human activity na meron po tayo, yung human habitation po, which is to think na madamay rin po because of the atmosphere, because of the hurricanes. Another, ito po, earthquake, no? Alam na po natin that the earthquake from the geosphere, kasi po sa land po siya. Maapektuhan niya si biosphere, si atmosphere din po, and hydrosphere. Bakit po maapektuhan po si atmosphere? We'll know that the geosphere is only in the mass. Pwede mag-release ng tinatawag nating earthquake eruption, earthquake volcanic eruption, no? After mag-volcanic eruption pa rin siya, o di parang nagkaroon ng secondary trench doon na parang pagkakaroon ng tinatawag na nating sending of ash and gases din sa air. So, meaning to say, papasok pa rin si atmosphere doon. Biosphere. Siyempre po, maapektuhan po tayo right after ng geosphere, which is the earthquake. And the hydrosphere, yun nga po, yung tsunami. No? Yung mga secondary na pwede pong mangyari right after noong isang sphere po natin. Okay? Klaro po tayo doon. Now po, I have 3 questions po. To recap lang. To recap lang po for our discussion for today. Name the 4 main Earth system. Alam na alam niyo po yun. Which branch of science studies the interactions between this Earth system? And 3, a forest fire could affect which Earth system? Maliit lang, bagay lang na maliit na bagay para sagutan nyo yan, no? Pero tingnan na po natin kung ano pa napag-usapan po natin sa discussion po natin ngayon. We have at number 1, the answer is atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and geosphere. On number 2 po, we have the study of the Earth system. Earth system science. For example nga po, na tinakal po natin kanina, yung example is a scientist that study global warming. How about number 3? A forest fire could affect which Earth system? Sabi nga po, pwedeng lahat ay maapektuhan. Which is fire, biosphere will destroy, sabi nga po, a forest fire, no? So forest siya, biosphere po siya. So, will destroy plants and animal life while releasing smoke and other contaminants into the atmosphere, hydrosphere, and geosphere. So yun po yung process po na pwede po natin mapansin doon sa ating pong 4 subsystem. So pwede yung tatlong tanong na to, basic lang, madali lang, pero mapapansin po natin na paano siya tatakbo, paano siya mag-run into different scenario o different sphere na pwede pala siya magkakaroon. So kasi may mga lesson po tayo about the natural disaster, about a natural phenomena, natural hazard, etc. etc. So pwede natin itong ma-review yung mga interconnected po or interaction po ng apat pong spheres. So yun po yung discussion po natin, lesson number 2 po natin. Pwede niyo pong ulitin yung video para po mag-guide po kayo sa pagsagot niyo po sa SIM or sa module. And then, kung may tanong po kayo, just message niyo po ako. And yun lang po. God bless you all. Nawa po ay marami po kayo. Thank you so much po.